Patrick Findara here, co-founder at Vetted Biz. Excited to have on Morgan Klein, co-founder and CEO of Burn Bootcamp. Her and her husband, Devin, grew their franchise system from literally operating in a parking lot to over 100,000 members, 300 plus studios. Morgan, thanks for joining today.
Yeah, thanks, Patrick, for having me. Excited to be here.
So from what I understood, you were a hotshot working at Kellogg. You could have continued on the corporate path. What motivated you to start your own business, especially starting your own business with your husband?
Yes, well, thank you for the hot shot comment. I've not gotten that one yet, so thank you. But yes, I was definitely on a one track of climbing that corporate ladder. You know, to me, that's kind of how I grew up, as what the American dream was to get a corporate job and continue to get promoted. And so Devin and I are both from Battle Creek, Michigan, which is the cereal city. And so got a job right out of college down to Naples, Florida. Devin went and played professional baseball. And I was kind of on my one track, and he was out playing baseball in different towns, doing his thing, because that was his dream. And obviously in the minor leagues, you can get called in at any point and get cut. And that's what happened, unfortunately, to Devin. But fortunately for us, it lighted a fire inside of him to, continue to be in, that athletic space. And he went into personal training in a big box gym. And he really saw what he didn't want in personal training and in that gym environment. And so that's the time where I got promoted up to Charlotte. And he said, when we move up there, I'm going to start my own company. I'm going to do it right this time.
You two are in your early 20s at the time?
We were 23 when we moved. And so came up to Charlotte, didn't really know anybody who came for my job at Kellogg's, and we didn't have a lot of money or a lot of resources. So we started a gym, like you said, in a parking lot just north of Charlotte, so in the Lake Norman area. And Devin started training more of like that sports performance, but also focusing on women, because he has some experience traveling in baseball of living with host families. And he could really see how the mom was impacted when she took care of herself. And so he would kind of trade some personal training with the women and the moms that he was staying at their house. And he really saw that transformation. So obviously, as we went into business, that was the niche that we took first and foremost. We actually used to be Charlotte's fit community of moms. And so we used to get phone calls all the time that was like, I'm not a mom, can I still come? And so the brand has obviously evolved into empowering women and their families. It's gone from, moms to women to now families. And so it's just really exciting to see what we have done in a short amount of time. We became a franchise in 2015. Like you said, we have we've awarded over 500 territories. We've opened over 350 gyms, and we definitely have some big goals ahead of us.
And about what percent of your members are women?
95%, right. I would say at this point.
And I love something that I've never heard before is you're so into the consumer's mind and knowing exactly what they want, but they can even bring their kids along and do the workout. And there's a separate kids center in most of the studios.
Yeah, and there is at every gym that we have has Child Watch. So again, even in those parking lot days, we were subleasing from a gymnastics studio. So we had a little room in the gymnastics studio that we allowed, moms to bring their kids, because that is such a huge barrier for moms to be able to go take care of themselves and have that 45 minutes to themselves to get healthier and to reach their goals. And they either feel guilty that they have to have a babysitter come, or they feel guilty not spending time with their kids. And so we created that Child Watch environment where the kids would also be excited to go to, and their mom could go get 45 minutes of me time.
And before your members were signing up with Burn Bootcamp, what were they doing before? Were they going on an ad hoc basis, inconsistent basis to those big box gyms? Did they just take a break from general fitness?
Great question. Honestly, it ranged from not working out at all to being somebody who worked out every day, whether it be at another gym or at home or, just a runner. So what I love so much about Burn Bootcamp is we meet our members where they're at, and we really cater to their fitness level and their fitness style. So if you just had a baby 6 or 8 weeks ago, we're going to welcome you into the gym, and we're going to make sure that we're giving you those modifications with you in mind. Or if you have worked out every day, we're going to mod you up. We're going to challenge you based on your fitness level. And we're going to make sure that you don't feel that competition in between, because something about my background is coming into the personal training space from leaving my corporate job. I did think that I needed to live up to that persona of a personal trainer that had a six pack and, defined quads and defined biceps. And, it's just a lot of insecurity comes with women working out in big box gyms. And we knew that we wanted to build a community that didn't allow that, and celebrated us for exactly who we are today, but who we want to be tomorrow. And so we've really tried to take away that stigma of what fitness and what health looks like. And it's not about what you look like, it's about how you feel. And when you're able to talk like that and bring that community together, women don't feel that competition or that insecurity. And that's what has made Burn Boot Camp so special, is that it truly feels like you get to come in and you're loved for who you are, but we're going to meet you exactly where you are, and we're going to help you get to that next version of yourself.
And your core values really shine through from the podcasts, the videos that I watch, hearing from your franchisees, where big box gyms have tried to emulate that, but you have like Planet Fitness where they have like donuts and bagel stands where it's like taking it a little too much, where it's disingenuous.
Right. Yeah. Authenticity is one of our core values. And thank you for that compliment. I am proud that we don't negotiate with the soul of our brand. And there are going to be shiny and new fitness trends and brands that pop up. When we stay true to really who we are and live by our mission and our core values, that's how we say yes to things, and that's how we say no to things. And so although our brand has evolved and it will continue to evolve, we really remain true to empowering women and their families and the communities that we serve.
Looking at your space, there's a lot of brands, whether it's big box gyms or even on the boutique fitness, that are taking advantage of their franchisees, taking advantage of the consumers. You can't cancel the membership. I think oftentimes because they're publicly traded or there's big money behind it, and they're looking to make their shareholders earn a profit. But from what I understand, it's still founder led by you and your husband.
Yeah, that's right. It's Devin and I own the company, and we've kept it as a family owned business. And that has allowed us to really make the decisions by ourselves and not have to negotiate with the core values, and really walk that line between profit and culture, and making sure that you're not making decisions solely based on profit. Obviously, you have to make money in a business, and it's important to have a healthy business, but not to the detriment of taking advantage of other people.
Yeah, franchisees or the end member. Mm-hmm. And tell me, what's it look like? This persona, working mom, 3 kids, comes in with her 3 kids, drops the kids off. What's the next 45 minutes look like?
Yeah, great question. So they're going to be greeted with a high five from one of our Burn ambassadors that works at the front desk. And then that Burn ambassador is going to introduce them to our trainers. And all of our trainers have CPTs. So they are certified, as well as all of our training that they have to go through. So we have a Burn University course, which is 5 days here at headquarters. But we also do regional trainings. We have an online learning portal. We're actually getting ready to head to our annual summit next week. So they have the opportunity to do continued education within Burn Boot Camp on top of their CPT, to make sure, like I said, that we are meeting that member where their fitness level is, giving them mod down, mod up, and doing it in really a one-on-one personal training in that group setting. So 45 minutes we've never done the same workout twice. That's something we're super proud of here. We have a programmer in-house, and we make sure that from start to finish, you're never going to get that same workout. And you're never going to look at a screen when you need to get a workout. You're going to hear from that trainer.
We get away from our screens.
Yeah, we get away from our screens here at Burn Boot Camp. We obviously leverage technology because you can't really avoid it in this day and age. But we do strongly feel that when you're here, you don't need to be connected. You don't need to be looking at a screen. We're going to give you that personal connection, and we're going to make sure you understand the workout. We're going to challenge you based on your fitness levels. So a 45-minute workout. And like I said, never the same workout. And we're constantly changing our programming. So you're never going to overtrain, which is also really, really important for us. So you're not going to do a leg day and then followed by a full body day where you're also working your legs. We're going to make sure that you're mixing up your muscle groups to stay safe and to be able to come, 5-6 days a week, because this truly is an outlet for most of our members. It's something that they look forward to. even if they only can come and give 50%, they want to be here for those 45 minutes so they can leave and be a better version of themselves.
What's the coverage ratio in terms of trainer per member?
So typically, if we're seeing a camp that's consistently around 40 or 50 members, we're going to have 2 trainers on. You're going to have one on the mic and one that's walking around, making sure that they're correcting form.
Actually correcting. I used to go to a yoga studio and it was fun and everything, but like I would not get any correction. And that's what, might as well just do it by myself if I'm not having someone that's making changes to the workout.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what you pay for.
Yeah, if not, you could again going back to the screen. Tell me, what type of entrepreneurs are you looking at to join the Burn Bootcamp family?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, we want someone that's passionate about impacting lives. If that's not something that excites you every day when you wake up, then this business would definitely not be a good fit for you. So we definitely want somebody that has that passion for fitness and just impact overall. Someone who's incredibly positive and someone who has some leadership and business acumen, whether that be in a corporate job or maybe you have ran gyms before or ran other businesses. If you haven't, we still have plenty of franchise partners who have success stories that have gone from being a Burn ambassador to a trainer to a franchise partner, and they've really grown up in the brand. And that's the beauty of franchising is we're going to give you those resources, that system, those playbooks. So you have to be willing to use that. And that's another thing we look out for is we want to make sure that if you want to be a part of this brand, you have to live by those brand standards and what it means to actually be a Burn Bootcamp owner and not try to recreate the wheel, because otherwise you might as well just do it on your own. Well
said. And what are we talking about in terms of financial commitments to open up a studio?
Yeah, so our current franchise fee right now is $60,000. Our royalties are 6 and 2, so 6% royalty, 2% brand fund.
And in terms of total bill out costs, is it still like 4,500 to 6,000 square feet?
Yep, that's about the sweet spot. 4,500 and anywhere from $320,000 to $500,000 for that total initial investment.
And are franchisees mostly funding it like through SBA loans or rolling over their retirement savings?
Yep, both of those options.
Do you have many franchisees that have multiple locations?
We do. We have several multi-unit owners. Our sweet spot in multi-unit ownership right now is about 3 units, but we have our largest multi-unit owner has 11 units.
Wow.
All the way down to obviously 1 or 2. A lot of our multi-unit owners have opened 1 gym and seen the success from that and then reinvested in the brand, which really excites us. And that's what we want to continue to do is invest in our people that have invested in us. So we are always looking for ways to support those multi-unit owners to expand their reach, expand their impact, and obviously build their own empires.
And do you and Devin still own a couple of studios?
We do. We own 9 gyms across 4 states.
Wow.
So it will be always important to us to keep in touch with that on the ground field experience. And so we have our Lake Norman gym, which is our flagship. And I'm actually sitting in the building right now. So we have a gym right upstairs. So it's really cool because all of our headquarter employees get to head upstairs for a noon workout. But we've got 1 in North Carolina. We've got 1 in West Boca, Florida, 1 in Flower Mound, Texas. And then we have 5 out in Salt Lake City.
And in terms of franchisees, is this something that's a full-time endeavor, 40, 50, 60 hours a week? Or is this something that you could do as like a side hustle with your professional life?
Yeah, so we have a big mix of owners. We do have some that are able to maintain their full-time job. However, they have to have somebody that's operating the business day to day. So whether that be their spouse or a business partner, or they've hired, an operations manager, it's certainly not a passive income opportunity. The most successful franchise partners are the ones that are in their business every single day.
And are there any key markets that you're excited to open up in that you're really eyeing?
Yes, California, we have a ton of opportunity. We still have a lot of opportunity in Texas, Washington, still a lot of opportunity in Florida. So we're in 41 states, and we certainly believe we can be in all 50, but those are our hot markets right now.
And how are you retaining talent across both those 9 locations, as well as how are franchisees retaining talent in the current environment with unemployment at 3.6%?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, in full transparency, staffing continues to be a struggle, and it really has been since, the pandemic has hit. And so, I continue to believe that culture and community and that people first core value is what's going to make people want to work for you. So from the top down, if aren't exuding those core values and you don't have leadership and you're not making people feel valued, they are going to go somewhere else. They're going to go find something else to do. So it's about continuing to pour into ourselves as leaders, Devin and I, all of our leadership team, but then also our franchise partners and their teams. So leadership has been a really big focus in a lot of our trainings over the last 2 years of how to be better leaders and, how to build the community within your team and build that structure. We use a lot of the EOS methodology in our operating system. So making sure that they're having regular meetings, they're setting expectations, and people can get rewarded and recognized for their work.
Is it typically a daily huddle? Like everyone at the Burn Bootcamp Studios meeting in the morning to set the agenda of the day, uncover potential issues?
Daily huddle is not something that we have, because we have a lot of employees that are part-time and do this out of a lot of passion. Sure. So they're not there every single day, all day. It's a lot of moving parts when you're scheduling for a gym. But, the beauty of technology these days, we have tons of our employees on Basecamp, obviously group text, and we get to obviously connect in that regard.
And then how are you helping franchisees basically open up fast and get to profitability?
Yeah, great question. So when you sign a franchise agreement, you get assigned with our C&D team, which is our construction and design team. And then also you get assigned to our franchise business coaches. So they're going to stay with you all the way until you open your doors. And so we have a third-party real estate vendor that's going to help get you into a good lease, into a good space, based on what demographics we know work the best. And then from there, we're going to help you upfit your entire gym. And then we also have a third-party company called Burn Media Co. that Devin and I also own, that our franchise partners have the option to use in a grand opening package. So, if you're not a marketer, I always recommend you outsource things and you delegate things so you can elevate yourself and focus on what you can do. So we give those franchise partners a grand opening package from a marketing support outside of what our internal team does provide as well. And then from opening on, you have that franchise business coach. And like I mentioned a little bit earlier, we have the education model that gives them several BLP pathways, which is our Burn Learning Portal. And then they get certain deployments if they need it. They get regional training opportunity. They get the annual summit. And then we're constantly giving them, new and refreshed courses that they can watch.
One thing that we're studying a lot more on Vetted Biz is basically the number of corporate employees compared to the number of franchise units. And it seems like you guys have a pretty nice coverage ratio where you have a large number of corporate employees. And yeah, you do have a lot of studios open, but for comparable fitness franchises in your size, the corporate headcount's not as high.
So we have 68 corporate employees, and it is my job to make sure that our infrastructure is always set up to support the growth. And we know that we're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to award units, open units, and unit economics is something that I am focused on every single day. It's actually what our leadership team looks at every single week is how are our units doing? Because as a brand, you can do really, really well. But if your individual franchisees their unit economics are not doing well, then validation is down and you have an unhappy system, and then you won't continue to grow. So we focus on that first, and we're constantly looking for ways that we can support our franchisees, whether that be through marketing or through the fitness product or through leadership and retention and lead generation. So that's what we're focused on here at headquarters. And our franchise business coaches, that team will continue to grow as our units grow. So the ratio between a franchise business coach and how many gyms that they can support can stay manageable.
Yeah, I imagine it wouldn't feel right. Like there was one kickboxing franchise that closed like hundreds of locations, and their item 21 that shows the financials of the franchise brand level, they were making like 2 mil plus while their franchisees are closing down. And it's just like, I would feel so bad. Like you have your community, people that have like really entrusted their livelihood with you, and you're making a lot of money, and they're being forced to close down. Would you mind opening a little bit into the unit level economics, as much as you could share about how someone makes money as a Burn Bootcamp franchise owner?
Sure. So we have obviously our core revenue driver is our camp memberships. Our monthly EFTs range anywhere from $110 to $179, depending on what tier you're in. And all of that is basically adjusted by what your overhead's going to be. So we'll place you into a tier. But the core revenue driver is obviously those memberships. 6, 12, 18 memberships. And of course, we have some punch card options as well. And so our goal as a system right now that we're tracking for is 350 average unit members. So on average, we want our system to be at 350 members. And that has grown significantly just since January. We've had a really great year so far. We've increased from 100,000 members to 110 already just in 6 short months. So that continues to be the focus, is obviously generating more members for our franchise partners and for their units. And then some of our secondary revenue streams, we have a supplement company. So we're selling protein, pre-workout, protein bars. We have a hydration drink. We're continuing to innovate and evolve our supplement line, because that is an important piece of, working out and recovering and building muscle and taking care of yourself. And so we started that at the same time that we started the franchise. And then we also have an activewear soft goods business. So if you can see here, I'm wearing one of our shirts. And so every one of our gyms has a retail center in their facility, and they can sell our gear to members. So that makes up about, I would say, 8% of the total revenue. And then in between there, you've got, our annual fees, and we do some kids camps, and we do some other ancillary programs for the franchise partners to make money.
And then on the cost side, you have the rent. Basically, I'd imagine it's the people and the rent are the biggest cost.
Yeah, rent, and obviously, utilities. And then our equipment is pretty low compared to a lot of our competitors, because we have an open floor concept. So we have our floating floor, then we have dumbbells, we've got a pull-up system, but no big equipment that you have to purchase.
So you don't have like $150,000, $200,000 equipment package?
No, I would say it's about a third of that.
Okay, that's solid.
So yeah, payroll is obviously the biggest cost, but marketing is an expense that I always encourage our franchise partners to not cut, because if you're not growing, then you're dying. And so a lot of people think that they need to cut marketing, but that's something that should always be included in your budget, because no matter what in the fitness industry, you're going to have turnover. You're going to have people that move around that are maybe going through an area or a time of demotivation and aren't using their gym membership. And so you want to constantly be feeding that pipeline of trials and members and making sure that you're keeping that membership number healthy.
And that's nice that you have a related company that can help support with the marketing operations. And I'm sure you've spent hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars testing out with your 9 gyms that you own, and then also all the insights from all the franchise locations, so they can really save some money and not be just blowing through cash on Facebook and Google ads.
Yep.
Any media channels you're comfortable sharing, like TikTok, or any new channels that have been helpful for attracting new members?
So Facebook and Instagram are one of our bigger digital spaces. Obviously Google, and we've dabbled a little bit into TikTok and YouTube, but we really believe in getting out in your community as well. So, sitting behind a computer and throwing ads at it is effective, but what's going to be more effective is getting out in the community, introducing yourself to, new people, new potential members, and showing them what Burn Bootcamp really is about. And that investment to me has a much better ROI than any digital space that you're going to be in. We also have a really powerful referral network. A lot of our leads come through referrals, and that's stuff that we've learned a lot in our own company-owned gym. So our marketing team is constantly putting together some different resources and tools from a hyper-local standpoint to not just do digital, but to also get out and represent Burn in your community.
What percent of the, say, 350, 400 members at one of the Burn boot camps is coming from those offline? So word of mouth or the referrals?
I would say 40 to 50%.
Solid.
Yeah, it's very even with our digital audience.
And I'm sure the lifetime value of those referrals are longer. There's probably more peer pressure to spend a little more time in the Burn boot camp and not, leave if there's some life event, and because you have your friend that recommended you're going with your friend.
Yeah, the accountability buddy, or the Burn sister is how we like to call it, is really big at Burn Boot Camp. And I can't tell you how many times I've been out in the field and I hear women come up to me and say that they've met their best friends at Burn Boot Camp, and they can't imagine life without them. And so it's really cool to see that we're not just impacting their life from a fitness perspective, but inside and out of the gym, they've met people that have those like-minded goals and that love them for who they are.
As you've alluded to on your podcast, just kind of the balance of your life where you don't have that what is an important part to me, you and many people is staying physically fit, then that starts affecting other aspects, your professional, personal, family life.
Yeah, and that's what we focus on at Burn Boot Camp is it's not just your physical health, it's your mental health, it's your emotional health, it's the confidence that you have in yourself. And so if we can do things inside of our gym that are going to help you gain confidence and have that mental space to just be who you are, it's going to change your life in ways that you didn't expect.
Morgan, any key metrics that you're following daily, if not weekly? At Vetted Biz, we have a lot of franchise executives, franchise founders, franchisees that are listening in. What metrics are you just constantly looking at daily, if not weekly?
So leads, visits in the door, our close percentage, our retention, and then obviously our revenue from not just the top line, but also the unit economic revenue.
Wow. And it's not just like 5-10 studios, because it's 300 plus studios. I imagine you're able to act very fast and help out franchisees that might not be hitting the numbers they should, and be able to offer help with that coach to get them to the metrics that will make them money and make them happy, I'd imagine.
Yes, our pipeline is a big focus, and we always talk about knowing your numbers. And if you don't have a pulse on your numbers and you're just kind of hoping and wishing, then life's going to catch you off guard and you're going to suddenly, need more members than you have. And so that focus, like I said, from the pipeline all the way from the top down is incredibly important as a business owner.
Morgan, any closing advice for prospective franchisees, maybe someone that's working their corporate job about going into franchising?
Yeah, I think my advice would be to do your research, and to do your research on multiple brands, not just Burn Boot Camp, if you're considering it. I believe very much in, as an entrepreneur myself, reading the contracts, reading the FDDs, like understand what you're getting into, talking to other people that are part of a franchise system, whether that's Burn Boot Camp or something else, and just really doing your research is number one. Number two is making sure that you're aligning with the core values and the mission of the brand. And if it doesn't feel good, then it's not going to ever feel good. When you go into franchising, you're signing a 5 to 10 year term with that brand. And it's really hard to get out of that contract. And so you want to feel like you're very aligned from just a personal and a professional standpoint. And, take your time on that. Don't rush it, because it is a big decision. And when you feel that alignment and you've done your research, you really know what you're getting into and it feels good, then I say take the risk and trust your gut and take a leap. That's what I did 11 years ago. And I am so thankful that I did.
Well, Morgan, thanks for sharing all your thoughts and knowledge and your experience. I'm sure this is going to motivate current entrepreneurs as well as future entrepreneurs. What's the best way for someone to enter into contact to further explore the Burn Boot Camp franchise opportunity?
Franchise.burnbootcamp.com is our franchising website, but of course you can just go to burnbootcamp.com also and check out if there's a location near you, because absolutely you want to go and actually test the product before you would consider investing into it. So we offer a 7-day trial at our locations, and I would definitely start there.
Very cool. We'll be sure to include the website links into the show notes. Morgan, thanks again for joining today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
Appreciate it.